The number one question that people ask me immediately, right out the gate, oftentimes, is how much is it going to cost? I want to talk about why cost isn't really the question. And so there's two mindsets that I kind of have identified: quantified mindset versus the non-quantified mindset. Quantifying something would be like, okay, we're gonna figure out how much this is gonna cost. I have an idea, I wanna know it's gonna cost me $10,000 or $100,000 or $100 million. That's kind of like a shopper mentality. So you're shopping. The price matters a lot to you in that case. I wanna know, this is the scope of work, this is how much it's gonna cost, this is what I'm gonna get it for, and they want a very specific outcome. But there's another mindset. I call it the non-quantified mindset. A non-quantified mindset's thinking a little differently. This is a person who really doesn't ask about price. So they're exploring things, and it's not about a specific outcome. Now, they're very flexible in the way that they think. And so the non-quantified mindset is really more on an expedition. A quantified mindset shopping for something. A non-quantified mindset is exploring something. When you're gonna go on an expedition, you don't really know what you're gonna hit. Maybe you have an idea, but there are things that can happen along the way. So if you're gonna do something new, if it's a brand new thing, it's probably buried deep in the jungle and it takes an expedition to get there. That's where people end up a lot of times. And they started out with this very clean kind of going to the mall to go shop to get my idea. I oftentimes do take a non-quantified mindset to a lot of things that I do. Back to the quantified mindset, because you don't have to be a non-quantified mindset, even though, I just described why many times people end up in that situation. They weren't expecting to be in that. So as long as you know that, A, you have to stay inside of the framework of a system you can shop in, you can be a quantified mindset. So it's all about defining the idea very clearly. You throw a scope of work out there, you say, I want this thing. And then you get back these proposals. You have to invest in the study, in the research to make sure that this is gonna have a good outcome. This also means you have to make detailed specifications. The more time and money you put into spec, the better. Now you box yourself in very, very tight. Many times this takes iterative, iteration. We built it and then we're gonna build it better. Doing that with a quantified mindset, you have to understand that there are iterations. Putting yourself into tight little boxes requires a lot of planning, which is fine. It just don't skimp on the planning. Decisions can only be made with the best information available. That's it's time or money. Non-quantified mindset, different kind of mentality here. They're exploring something with a less specific outcome. They know that things are going to morph greatly, so they're very flexible, not boxing themselves in. The outcome success is based more on the journey, not the destination. A non-quantified mindset might not spec as much up front because they know that things are gonna change. They wanna spec shorter term. If you can decide if you're the quantified mindset or the non-quantified mindset, and you go into this with both eyes open and a full understanding of how you need to think to get this thing off the ground, you're gonna be in a lot better position.